Muhammad Mursi's story began far from the halls of power, in the rural village of El Adwa, Egypt. Born in 1951, Mursi's early life was one of humble beginnings. His father, a farmer, toiled the land while his mother tended to the family home. Despite their modest means, Mursi's parents instilled in him the importance of education. Mursi excelled in his studies, earning a place at Cairo University. At Cairo University, Mursi pursued a degree in engineering, a field that demanded precision and logic. These qualities, honed in the classroom, would later shape his approach to the political arena. These formative years in El Adwa laid the foundation for the man who would one day lead a nation. In the late 1970s, driven by a thirst for knowledge, Mursi journeyed to the United States to continue his academic pursuits. He was part of a wave of international students seeking advanced education in America, a land of opportunity and innovation. He enrolled at the University of Southern California, immersing himself in the world of material science. The rigorous academic environment and cutting-edge research facilities provided him with a fertile ground to hone his skills and knowledge. His dedication bore fruit in 1982 when he earned his PhD. This achievement was a testament to his hard work and intellectual prowess. Beyond academics, Mursi's time in the United States was a period of profound intellectual and political awakening. He was exposed to a diverse array of ideas and ideologies, which broadened his perspective on global issues. He witnessed firsthand the workings of a democratic society, shaping his views on governance. The democratic process, with its emphasis on freedom and participation, left a lasting impression on him. During this period, Mursi became increasingly involved in Islamic student organizations. These groups provided a platform for him to engage with like-minded individuals and discuss pressing issues of the day. He was drawn to discussions about the role of faith in public life and the relationship between Islam and democracy. These debates were crucial in shaping his ideological framework. These encounters fueled his growing interest in political Islam. He began to see the potential for integrating Islamic principles with modern governance. He returned to Egypt in 1985, armed with a doctorate and a newfound determination to shape his country's future. His experiences in the United States had equipped him with the knowledge and vision to make a significant impact. Upon his return to Egypt, Mursi found himself in a nation grappling with political repression and economic stagnation. The streets were filled with discontent as people struggled to make ends meet and voiced their frustrations against the government. The atmosphere was charged with a sense of urgency and desperation. President Hosni Mubarak's authoritarian regime had tightened its grip on power. The government employed heavy-handed tactics to silence dissent, including police crackdowns and widespread surveillance. Public gatherings were often met with force, and the regime's control over the media ensured that opposition voices were rarely heard. The Muslim Brotherhood, advocating for political reform, operated under a cloud of suspicion. Despite being officially banned, the organization continued to attract followers who were disillusioned with the status quo. They held secret meetings and organized rallies, always wary of government spies and informants. Despite the risks, Mursi joined the ranks of the Muslim Brotherhood, drawn to its message of social justice and political change. He believed in the organization's vision of a more equitable society and was inspired by its commitment to challenging the oppressive regime. He quickly rose through the organization's ranks, earning the respect of his peers. His dedication and leadership skills did not go unnoticed, and he became a key figure in the Brotherhood's efforts to mobilize support and push for reforms. Mursi became a prominent voice within the Brotherhood, advocating for democratic reforms and an end to corruption. He spoke passionately at conferences and rallies, calling for transparency and accountability in government. His speeches resonated with many Egyptians who were tired of the endemic corruption and lack of political freedom. His outspoken criticism of the Mubarak regime did not go unnoticed. The government saw him as a threat, and his activities were closely monitored. Despite the risks, Mursi continued to speak out, undeterred by the potential consequences. Mursi faced repeated arrests, enduring periods of imprisonment and harassment. Each time he was detained, it only served to strengthen his resolve. He used his time in prison to reflect and plan, emerging each time more determined to fight for change. These experiences only strengthened his resolve, deepening his ideological commitment. The hardships he faced solidified his belief in the need for a complete overhaul of the political system. he became even more committed to the cause, knowing that the struggle for justice was far from over. Through his unwavering commitment, Mursi emerged as a symbol of hope for many Egyptians yearning for change. His journey from a disillusioned citizen to a prominent political figure inspired many, and his story became a testament to the power of resilience and determination in the face of adversity. The year 2011 marked a turning point in Egypt's history. Inspired by uprisings in Tunisia, Egyptians took to the streets demanding an end to Mubarak's rule. The Arab Spring swept across the region, igniting hopes for a more democratic future. The Muslim Brotherhood played a pivotal role in the revolution. Initially, the Brotherhood put forward Khairat el-Shader as its candidate for the presidential elections. When el-Shader was disqualified, the Brotherhood turned to Mursi. Mursi campaigned on a platform of democratic reform, social justice, and economic renewal. On June 24, 2012, Muhammad Mursi was declared the winner of the presidential election. He garnered 51.7% of the vote, marking a watershed moment for Egypt. For the first time, Egypt had freely and fairly elected a president from an Islamist party. Mursi's presidency was beset by formidable challenges from the outset. He inherited a nation grappling with a faltering economy, high unemployment, and widespread poverty. Moreover, he faced suspicion and hostility from the remnants of the old regime. Despite these obstacles, Mursi pressed forward with his agenda. He sought to address the country's economic woes and assert civilian control over the military. In November 2012, Mursi issued a decree granting himself sweeping powers, sparking widespread protests. The move backfired, leading to accusations of authoritarianism. As the year progressed, Egypt slid deeper into political and economic turmoil. By mid-2013, protests against Mursi's rule intensified, fueled by economic anxiety and political polarization. Amidst the chaos, the military, led by General Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, issued an ultimatum to Mursi. The ultimatum marked a turning point, signaling the military's intention to intervene. The political atmosphere in Egypt grew increasingly tense as the military's deadline approached, with both sides preparing for a potential showdown. Mursi, clinging to his legitimacy as the democratically elected president, refused to yield. He addressed his supporters in a defiant speech, emphasizing his commitment to the principles of democracy and the will of the people. On July 3, 2013, the military made good on its threat. The coup was swift and decisive, with military forces quickly taking control of key locations across the country. Tanks rolled into Cairo, surrounding key government buildings. The sight of military vehicles in the streets was a stark reminder of the power shift taking place. Mursi was deposed and placed under house arrest. His removal from power was met with mixed reactions, with some celebrating the end of his rule while others decried the military's actions as a betrayal of democracy. The military, led by General el-Sisi, assumed control, suspending the constitution. This move was justified by the military as a necessary step to restore order and stability in the country. Mursi's supporters took to the streets in protest, resulting in a brutal crackdown. The clashes between protesters and security forces led to significant casualties and further deepened the political divide. Mursi was imprisoned, facing charges including espionage and inciting violence. His imprisonment was seen by many as politically motivated, aimed at silencing opposition to the new regime. His trials, widely condemned by international human rights groups, dragged on for years. The legal proceedings were criticized for lacking transparency and fairness, further tarnishing Egypt's human rights record. On June 17, 2019, during a court appearance, Mursi collapsed and died shortly after. His sudden death raised questions about the conditions of his imprisonment and the treatment he received while in custody. His death sent shockwaves through Egypt and beyond, with supporters mourning him as a martyr for democracy. The legacy of Mursi's presidency and the events that followed continue to influence Egyptian politics to this day. Muhammad Mursi's legacy is complex and contested. To his supporters, he was a symbol of hope, challenging the status quo. His critics argue he was a divisive figure, seeking to impose an Islamist agenda. They point to his power grab and failure to address deep divisions as evidence of flawed leadership. The truth lies somewhere in between these competing narratives. Mursi was a product of his time, thrust into revolutionary change. He possessed a genuine desire to improve lives, but struggled to navigate Egyptian politics. His legacy remains a reflection of the turbulent era in which he governed. Mursi's legacy will continue to be debated for years to come. Was he a flawed idealist, a victim of circumstance, or a harbinger of a more assertive form of Islamism? His rise and fall serve as a cautionary tale about the fragility of democracy. Mursi's story is a reminder that revolutions often unleash forces difficult to control. The transition from dictatorship to democracy is fraught with peril. Ultimately, Mursi's legacy will be shaped by the choices made by those who came after him. Will Egypt embrace democracy or revert to authoritarianism? The answer will determine Mursi's place in history.